Hey everybody, welcome to UK Boxing Group. Let's talk boxing with me, Triple D. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit that subscription button now. So, a lot of speculation going about that David Benavidez is next in line for Canelo Alvarez, and they're trying to put a date together for May, Cinco de Mayo, and it looks like that's going to be the next fight for Canelo Alvarez, and that's fantastic news for us boxing fans. I think that's the fight we all want to see next for Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez. It's an all Mexican clash, even though Benavidez is American Mexican and Canelo's full on Mexican. It's the battle of the Mexicans, the Mexican monsters. Canelo for me is the proven Mexican monster. I think he'll have too much for David Benavidez. Benavidez has got a lot in his favour going into this fight, aspects of being the younger, fresher guy, the bigger guy, but and he does punch hard. He is a big puncher, heavy-handed, good shot selection, and I'm a fan of Benavidez. I do like Benavidez, but I do think Canelo will still have that bit too much for him, and have enough to come through and be victorious. The proof's more so in the pudding with Canelo Alvarez. He's seen every style he is. He's come across big punches in the past and he haven't been able to put a dent in Canelo Alvarez. One thing he has got is a tremendous chin. I've never, I can't recall him ever being stunned, buzzed or rocked or anything. He's tough, he's strong, and I think even though I think he has hit that mountain, I think he is declining, he's on the slide a little bit. I think he'll still have too much for David Benavidez, but as I say, he has got things going in his favour, Benavidez. And in boxing, timing of the fight is always crucial. Maybe he's getting Canelo at the right time, but as of now, I will be picking Canelo Alvarez to be victorious. I think he'll have too much for Benavidez, but all in all, it's the fight we all want to see. He's been knocking on the door a while now, as David Benavidez been calling out Canelo. And if everything's going to plan, like if the rumours are right, that this fight happens for May time, Cinco de Mayo, it's just great news for boxing fans. It's another massive fight for 2024, and our fingers crossed we get that fight, because that is the fight I want to see, and I think everybody in boxing wants to see. It will be a huge fight, huge occasion, and Cinco de Mayo is always a massive day in the boxing world. And it's a fantastic fight, and it's a very exciting fight, and it's one we can all look forward to if it's made, and get excited about. But as I say, if it does take place, I'd still be favouring Canelo Alvarez, down to the fact I think there's more to go off with Canelo Alvarez. The proof's in the pudding, more so with Canelo Alvarez. And as I say, his experience is been in there with massive punches. I don't think David Benavidez brings anything different to the table that Canelo hasn't seen before. And as I say, even though I think he's maybe declined a little bit, Canelo, I think he'll be too much for David Benavidez. But time will tell. The main thing is we just want to see that fight, and hopefully we get that fight for May. And as I say, it's another huge fight to the calendar in May 2024, which is looking to be another great year for boxing. On to the next, Benn. His application has been rejected by the British Board of Control, Boxing Board of Control, and the saga continues. It's been nothing but, it's just been a pure mess. This full scenario, this full saga with Benn and his failed drugs tests, Hulk had failed drugs tests, and it's just, it's gone on now far too long, and it's been a PR disaster for Matchroom, it really has. And Benn, from day one, I think he's been badly advised. First of all, his procedure, the way he's gone about it, not willing to cooperate with the British Board of Boxing Control. He's been, an idiot about it all. He's really hasn't handled himself well in this, and who's ever advising him, they've really advised him badly. First of all, going to the WBC the way he did, what was the point in that? I think in Eddie Hearn's eyes and Benn's eyes, I think they thought that'd be enough to persuade people, and be enough, you know, and it didn't, you know, it just made things worse, really. They come back with a statement, it's probably down to contaminated eggs, probably, which is made him look even more ridiculous. He's took more stick, more slander over that. Now it's Benedict's, you know, it isn't good. Going on the Piers Morgan show, I think he come out of that looking very bad. The stuff he was throwing about that people have got it in for him, and there's a witch hunt for him. The British Boxing Board of Control have got it in for him, down to his dad Nigel ripping up his licence all them years back. And it's just stupidity, really, clutching at straws. I think he should have just gone about it the right way from the beginning. Procedures, took the right procedures, cooperated, and took whatever punishment comes with it, you know. If he was found guilty, he could have appealed it and what have you. But he never. It took a hell of a long time for him to comply and cooperate. And, you know, they've just tried doing everything loophole to get out of it, you know, from taking what the punishment, you know, and for failing them 2 drugs tests with UCAD. I think they've tried bullying the British Boxing Board of Control. I think they've tried bullying the way out of it, legal ways and what have you, and all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, the British Boxing Board of Control have stood firm, and rightly so. Fair play to them, because I think if they did let it slide and let this one go, I think every fighter in the future who fails drugs tests would have gone down the same route, and it wouldn't have set a good example. They've, as I said, they've stood firm on it, and, you know, held the ground, and, you know, they've refused, they've rejected the application to license Conor Benn for this upcoming fight with Eubank Jr., which is still up in the air. It's still no closer to being made. It's been getting rammed down our throats now for far too long that they're going to announce a date and this and that, and it's just no closer to being getting made. We are getting a date, and we all know that fight is just a money grab. It's coming off the back of the dads, really, you know, their legacies, their rivalry. That's why the fight is what it is, and it's just a big money fight, a big money grab. But as it stands, Conor Benn is no closer to getting licensed over here. I don't think any of the other commissions in the US, the big ones, will touch Conor Benn, as they've got a good relationship with the British Boxing Board of Control. I don't even think the Saudis are going to go near it as it stands with Conor Benn. He's a bad apple, it's a tarnish, and it's not looking good for your brand. Eddie Hearn, if he goes against the British Board of Boxing Control, it doesn't look good on him either. So it's one of them, but it's dragged on far too long. Conor Benn, if he'd took it and gone the right way, the procedures, and complied and cooperated with the British Boxing Board of Control when it all come about, it would have all been done and dusted now. But he didn't. He spat his chucks his toys out the pram and spat his dummy out, and you know, if he'd have got found guilty, you know, it is what it is. He could have appealed, like I said, and it'd have all been done and dusted. It'd have got banned. It'd have took his punishment. It'd have got banned, and it'd have been done. There's plenty of fighters who have failed in the past, and they've addressed it a lot better than what Conor Benn has. You know, it will leave that stain on your legacy, on your name. But with Conor Benn's scenario, you know, it's like you buy your brand new white rug, you know, and that's your career. The brand new bright white rug, that's your career, you know. And you spill a glass of Ribena on it, you know, and it's the stain. And it's expanding and expanding, and the stain's getting bigger and bigger. But you run to the kitchen where you get your vanish, get your cloth to fucking try and keep that stain at a minimum, you know, so it don't damage your full fucking brand new white rug. And Conor Benn's just let that stain get so out of hand and so big, it's basically fucked his brand new white rug up. In his analogy, his white rug is his career. That's my analogy. I know it's a bit fucked up on that, but you know what I mean, that's what's come to my head. But that's how I see it, you know, and it's took over, and his career's short at the end of the day, you know, and he's wasting valuable years, you know, valuable time with all this scenario. I know he fought not too long back in a low profile fight, and they announced that fight very late. And I think that was down to the fact the late announcement was because there'd have been a lot more backlash on that. So they did it kind of, slyly, and announced it very late, about 5 days prior to him fighting over in Miami. And I think, like I say, that was down to they knew there'd be a lot of backlash. As I said, I don't think any of the big commissions are going to touch him while all this is still up in the air. And Conor Benn's I think he should have just took it on the chin. He'd been caught, whether it was contamination or whatever, if he was innocent, whatever, if he's guilty, whatever. At the end of the day, he failed 2 drugs tests, and it is what it is. It happens. It's a common thing in boxing. With PEDs, it's rife, as I've said in previous videos. It's a common thing, and it's happened to a lot of fighters in the past. But with Conor Benn, he's just been adamant and been willing to cooperate, willing to take the right procedures, and he's done everything the wrong way, and it's just massively blown up, and it's still going on now. The saga is still going on, and he's no closer to getting his license back, and he's no closer to clearing his name. If anything, he's tarnished his reputation worse. As of my analogy of the stain, it's just massive now, and it is what it is. As far as Eubank Jr., I know he's hanging around because he knows it's a big money fight, but I'd distance myself from it for time being. That fight's still going to be there, I suppose, in time. But for Eubank Jr., you look at it, he's the best opportunity to becoming a world champion now. Is right now, that he's ever had. I think, in my opinion, his best opportunity is now. And I'd go down that route, try accomplishing becoming a world champion, because he's not getting no younger. Age is starting to catch up with him, and as I say, I think it's the best opportunity he's ever had of actually becoming a world champion now, as I think that division is, a bit weaker than it has been in the past, and there's an opportunity there for Eubank, and there's a lot of people out there, including myself, who didn't believe Eubank could ever become a world champion. So there's a great opportunity, great chance for him to prove that myself and a lot of other people out there wrong, and go try and achieve that and become a world champion. Because as it stands, his accolades are great. He's had the RBO, but I don't think anybody, myself, I don't believe that's a world title. I don't believe in that. Not from my perception, it's not. And he's got a great opportunity to go on now and push on and get a good chance. And the champions that are about at 160, you'd give Eubank Jr. a good opportunity, a good chance of winning in them fights. So, and as I say, the Conor Benn fight would still be there. But back to Conor Benn, his career is short, and he's wasting valuable years. And it is what it is. Whereas at the end, it is one of his cash cows, but it's a cash cow stuck in the mud as it stands. And he's not getting dragged out anytime soon. The looks of things, he is one of Eddie Hearn's big cash cows, but he is a cash cow stuck in the mud, as I say. And Eddie Hearn, he's going to be promoting long after Conor Benn's gone, finished, retired. He's going to be promoting into his 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, God willing, So it is what it is. But the whole scenario, it's dragged on, it's still going, the saga continues, and we'll see what happens, how that plays out. Last subject for this video. Bear with me, guys, because I am really run down at the minute. I've had a virus. I'm feeling a lot better than I did, but it's really kicked the shit out of me. Hopefully I'm on the mend, but that's why I'm maybe a bit thingy off in this video. But I've got to keep it moving, as I say. Tonight's fight is Mick Conlan against Jordan Gill. Mick Conlan has been splattered by the likes of Lee Wood and most recently Luis Alberto Lopez. Devastating, knocked out in devastating fashion. He's had a couple of wins in between the Lee Wood and Lopez one, but nonetheless, when he stepped up, he's been splattered and decapitated by Lee Wood and Luis Alberto Lopez. and I think he's in the last saloon now tonight. It's if it all goes wrong tonight, it's over for Mick Conlan. He is an alright boxer. He's got good skill set and what have you, but his chin don't seem to stand up. So Jordan Gill is not known as a massive puncher. He's an alright operator, Gill, but I think Conlan is dropping down a level here. Gill's coming up a level. And maybe it's, with the levels, Conlan's fell short at the highest level, and Gill is one of them, he's around British European level. So the meeting here to see where they're at in the careers, I think, as I say, I think Conlan's a little bit on a bit higher level than Jordan Gill. I do feel Conlan will have a point to prove tonight to get his name back in the mix and make a statement. And being the home fighter, he's got one thing he has got. Mick Conlan is a massive support, massive fan base. So it'll be some atmosphere again, I believe, over in Ireland, and I expect Conlan to put on a statement. And the perception is, I think he'd probably favour Mick Conlan to win on points, but I'm going to go out there and say Conlan's going to get the stoppage. I think down to the fact he needs to put on a big performance, make a big statement to get himself any credibility back to what he's lost in the past against these devastating knockout losses he's took in recent times against Lee Wood and Lopez. So we'll see, we'll find out, but I'm going to go out there and say Mick Conlan can get rid of Jordan Gill and get the stoppage win, but I definitely think he'll be victorious tonight, but you never know. I look forward to the fight, and if Conlan can do it in style and get a stoppage win, it gets his name back in the mix, and maybe there's some big fights in the future down the line for him still. But yeah, that's my thoughts today, guys. Canelo Alvarez, Benavidez, fingers crossed. The speculation and the date for me is true. And Conor Benn scenario, Saga, still a shit show, still up in the air. And Mick Conlan, let me know what you think, guys. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your take on things. And yeah, that's all for today. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Enjoy tonight's fights, and take it easy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that subscription button. UK Boxing Group, let's talk boxing with me, Triple D. As always, guys, peace out, take care.